In this video tutorial, we're going to use this UV map template to create a skin like this for a 3D bike. We'll begin by making the texture map for the tires. Looking at the finished piece, we can see that it consists of a series of strokes on an elliptical path with different weights, different colors, and the inner glow. The inner glow is used to fake lighting so that when the model might be used in the context of a game environment, it's less likely that the game will be slowed down by a lot of lighting if we can avoid it with the textures. I'll begin by getting my marquee selection tool using the elliptical tool. Holding down my Alter option with the Shift key, I'll begin to make my selection. Click from the middle and drag out. And I'll drag out just past where those little spokes poke through the UV map. Right in this area, you can see all around the perimeter where they kind of penetrate that metal rim that we'll be making a file for. In my layer window, I'll choose a new layer from the bottom of my layer window. And I've chosen kind of a dark gray because I want to use the inner glow and I want to see it so it starts to round that shape out when we map it on the 3D model. Staying on my marquee tool, if I was to right click and go to stroke, I can change the width of it here and the color and the orientation. I'm going to start with 45 and I'm putting it on the outside and I'll click OK. Keeping in mind, this is not science where it is accurate. You can always make it and you can always scale this afterwards to accommodate the UV map below. As long as it's going outside the edge of that polygon UV map you're looking at, it'll work well in the context of the model when we apply it. I'm going to add another layer. Going down to the layer we just made the file on, I'll use my wand tool rather than make a new selection. With the magic wand tool, I can click inside now and I have that selection again. And then I'll click on layer 4, which is where I'm going to put the element that I'll use for a white wall. For the white wall, I'll use kind of an off yellow. I'll right click inside with my selection tool. I'll go to stroke and I'm dropping the stroke down to 20. Leaving it on the outside, I'll click OK. Now we need one more, which will be kind of a grayish metal color. Not unlike what we see here as the reference. Going to my layer window, adding a new layer. I left the selection on because I'm going to use it again anyway. Now I will go ahead and get a lighter gray value. I'll right click inside the selection, go to stroke. I'll set it for the center and I'll make the stroke 20. I'll deselect and I'll save. So now if we were to turn off our UV map, you can see we've got these 3 rings we've just introduced. Now we're going to put the inner glow on them, and I'll start by selecting the tire layer, double-clicking or clicking on FX at the bottom of the layer window. I'll choose inner glow, changing the color to black, the blend mode to multiply, and now I'll just play with the weight of it. And once I have what I want, I'll go ahead and click OK. I'll right-click and choose Copy Layer Style, click on the white wall, select it, and paste it. And I need to change the color of that. So I'm going to go into the inner glow settings, and then I will choose a color that's more appropriate for the yellow I had introduced. I'll click OK, and I'll play with the weight and the opacity on that as well. Clicking OK, I'll go to the rim, right-click, and choose Paste Layer Style, and I'll play with the weight of that and the opacity as well. Bearing in mind that's supposed to be kind of a metal. I'll click OK, and I'm going to scale the white wall tire a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more of it, so I'll hold my Option key and drag out a little bit and scale it up. Anything close to this is fine. Now we're going to make the gray circle in the center, which will cover our spokes. I'll go to my UV map. I'll click on the layer with all the template references because I'm going to put a new layer in and I want it to be behind all the ones we just created. So Command-Shift-End or Control-Shift-N. And this will be spokes. And then I will simply get my elliptical marquee tool, turning on my UV map, Option-Shift, and I'll drag from the center, just going out beyond the rim layer. I'll use the same gray and Option-Delete on the keyboard. Deselect I'll lock the transparency. In the sample here, you can see we used a dissolve brush to give it a little bit of a grunge. So I'll hit B on the keyboard, and I'll right click and make my hardness about 20%, making the brush size maybe about 700. I've set the mode for the brush to dissolve, and I'll just drop my opacity down to about 20%, and I'll just kind of paint in the middle with a black. Hitting D on the keyboard, I'll paint in the middle, and I'll reduce the brush size and maybe click a couple more times just so it's a little darker perhaps towards the center, and I'll hit Command S to save. Now we've completed one tire, we'll merge those components and then we'll copy and put it in the position of the other tire. So I'll select each of the layers, and with them all selected I can hit Command or Control E to merge them, and then to make it more efficient and keep both tires on one layer, I'll hit Command A, then V on the keyboard, holding my Option or Alt. I'll drag a copy and put it over the other green template reference and save.